Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Monday. I hope you had the best weekend. I hope you had the best 4th. I hope you were safe. I hope you had fun. I hope you just had the best time, and good luck going back to work today. God damn, I feel like that's so hard. How nice, though, that the 4th of July is landing on a Friday. Like, we've got to just, I understand that it's July 4th. However, like Thanksgiving, why can't we just pick a day? Like, I understand the date part of it, but like, why can't we make it so like every holiday is on a Friday? I feel like that would just make the world a better place, but that's just my opinion. Let's get into the stories. I picked a few. I told you guys I'm pre-recording this pretty early, therefore I was looking up stories on Sunday, and I had just filmed like last Wednesday. There were not a lot of new ones that were like picking up traction, but I tried to find the best ones. Okay, am I the asshole for not letting my friend borrow one of my designer dresses for a wedding after she called me shallow for buying them? I, 26 female, have a stable job, no kids, and I like to treat myself sometimes. I've saved up for a few designer dresses over the years, nothing outrageous, just a handful of nice pieces I wear to special events. You don't need to explain yourself, boo. Here is the thing. Do people have opinions on how others spend money? 1000%. But also, it's none of your goddamn business. Who cares what other people think? We all prioritize different things. We all spend our money on different things. And that's just the reality. And I don't think people need to explain themselves. I'm sitting here talking about it as I judge the fuck. I judge people when they have no money, right? When you're broke, when you're in debt, and then you're making superfluous purchases. When you're like buying things that are outside of the necessity, that's when I have a problem. When you have a fuck ton of money, if that, some people prioritize clothes, some people prioritize their home, some people prioritize a car. Again, we each have our own thing. Like, to me, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I have money. Like, I feel I'm still gonna be an anxious like person and save all of my money, but we all just value different things, and to each their own. That's all I'm going to say on that. But I feel bad that she's like explaining herself. Like, if you want to buy some nice dresses, like, there is value in good quality clothes. And if you feel like you're going to wear them, like, pop off. Who gives a shit? You don't need to explain yourself. I'm careful with them, and they mean a lot to me because they're things I actually worked hard for. Totally. Nanny Mom, y'all. She goes crazy with the clothes and the shoes. She goes insane, but she takes such good care of them. And again, she worked hard and she deserves it, and she loves it. All of the shoes on display in her closet, like, that brings her so much joy. Cool. Perfect. Not everybody's cup of tea, right? That's fine, but hers. So like, let her pop off. Anywho. One of my closest friends, Lena, 27 female, has always made snide comments about my clothes. Stuff like, I don't get how you can spend that much on fabric, or I could never be that shallow. Lena, shut the fuck up. I usually laugh it off, but honestly, it does get under my skin. She clearly thinks I'm materialistic, even though I've never judged her for her lifestyle or spending habits. Yeah, that's so out of line. Also, any sort of snide comment coming from a friend is just like so unnecessary and like not a good friend. I'm always just like on the side of jealousy, because here's the thing, like, why are you making a comment like that? Like, even if you wouldn't spend your money on that, like, again, me, like, even if I wouldn't spend money on all of these, for example, Nanny Mom, her shoes, right? I love her and I see that she values them. Cool. Why would I ever sit and say, I can't believe you spent this much money? She has the funds. She worked hard. She values it. Pop the fuck off. She's not in debt. She's not in crippling debt, right? Amazing. Okay. Friends that make weird comments to you, I don't like that at all. And I would cut them off immediately, but that's just me. Anyway, she's going to a wedding soon and texted me out of the blue asking to borrow one of my dresses. No, I'm sorry. Absolutely not. no apology, no acknowledgement of the past comments. Just, you have so many. I figured you wouldn't mind. Of course she wants to wear one. That's what I said. She's jealous. Like, I just think, I obviously didn't have like a mom that was close to me, but I always see these comments and like trends online when girls say they had a mom that told them, like, when girls were mean to you at school, they're jealous of you. Like, the people that instilled that, I kind of believe in that logic. Like, this girl, because why would you make those comments? Like, it's clearly something that like bothers you in some way, right? Or it makes you insecure, but then to turn around and ask to borrow said dress. No. You don't get to say mean things to me and make these weird fucking comments and then get to use the things you're commenting about. Or even if it was about something else, like, you're just being a bad friend and then you're asking me for something. No. I politely said no, explaining I don't lend them out, especially for trips where I won't be there. She snapped back that I was being selfish and dramatic, and now a few mutual friends are chiming in saying it's just a dress. Absolutely not. Fuck all your friends. Oh my gosh. Seriously, screw your friends. What are you talking about? But I can't help feeling like it's more than that. Why should she benefit from something she's constantly belittled me for? Exactly. Because one, that's like a fine boundary to have. Oh my gosh, you guys, speaking of, I one time lended, and this is like one of the only times I've never been that person, mainly because I'm never the same size as my friends for the most part, I feel. Maybe I've lent some things to Elisa, some shoes, or we borrow back and forth. Back in the day when I was in college, and I've told you guys that story about my roommate who was a psychopath. She went through my journal, this girl, right? So there was already, but I think we must have been on good terms at this point because she asked to borrow a dress. Granted, was it from Forever 21? Yes, but don't judge me. I was 18 years old, 19 years old, and also Forever 21 was the only store in Fargo, North Dakota at the time that had cute dresses. What, you wanted me to go to JCPenney's? JCPenney's had some things that I rocked with at times, but like Forever 21 for like a 19-year-old, like going out, whatever. Well, I got this dress. I'm pretty sure it was from Forever 21. My roommate, okay, who is like littler than me, which maybe because I was like anorexic at the time. Never mind. Maybe I was a skinny mini, but like whatever. She asked to borrow it. And I said, yeah, of course. She was going to a wedding. It was like a black floral high neck. I loved this dress. She gives it back to me. And I shit you not, I put it on. You could literally see my vagina. Like, it was so short. I'm like, oh my God, she shrunk it. And again, it is from Forever 21. It was probably $30, which $30 in college was a lot of fucking money to me. And it still is. Okay. Regardless. And I get like, it might've been an accident, but also the second she gave it back to me and I looked at it, I'm like, this is smaller. And maybe she didn't pick up on it and whatever. And I don't remember if I confronted her about it. I'm not sure. And also, like, shortly after is probably when this friendship crumbled after I learned that she went through my diary. It was just like another thing that was like, this bitch ruined my dress, right? Like, I loved that dress. It was so cute. And then she posted photos of it on Instagram. And I remember just like, oh my God, that was the last time that dress is ever going to be worn. I obviously probably donated it, but I was so annoyed. And it wasn't still at Forever 21 because I had it for a little while. Anywho, borrowing your clothes to anybody is like a very kind thing to do. Things could get spilled on it, stains. Like, of course you could do that, but when it's not your thing, and especially when it's a high ticket price items, like that's a fair boundary to have, period. At all. Like, without this girl making the comments, like that is a normal thing to like not let people borrow. I know some people who are way more relaxed about sharing things. Fine. Okay, not everybody is this way, but I would understand being hesitant, right? Completely. Okay, but then also this bitch has made comments about you spending money and then she wants to use the thing that she's like talked down on you for. No. Do not let her wear that dress. She's been a bad friend. I don't care. Okay, next. Am I the asshole for not adjusting our China trip to my brother-in-law's cardio limits? Oh! I 39 male, recently went to China with my sister, 36 female, her husband, we'll call him Doug, 40 male, their son, 12, my wife and our two kids, 11 and 9. Okay, now we got all the characters. My sister and I were born in China, but our family immigrated to Dallas. Oh my gosh, D-Town Boogie. I ain't from Dallas, but I D-Town Boogie. I love it. Okay, anyways, when we were young, she stayed there, got married, and had her son while I settled in the Pacific Northwest with my wife and two gremlins of our own. I love people like this. I love when people talk shit about their kids. Not actually like when it's unhealthy, but our two gremlins, like that's so prash. I love that. Anywho. Growing up, our parents emphasized healthy eating and staying active. My sister and I still live that way and pass it on to our kids. Doug, however, is an American in every sense of that word. Ow, don't fucking talk shit about us Americans. It's so bad. It really is. Like compared to other nations, we have taken it way too far. Our portion sizes, our lack of exercise, and not to anybody's fault. Like we don't have walkable cities. That is my favorite thing about Europe. I know they said they're from China, but like when I went to Germany and Amsterdam, like you walk everywhere. Of course, I'm sure there are countrysides and places where you don't, but like I went to Munich, I went to Düsseldorf, I went to Frankfurt. Excuse me. Sorry. I just choked on air. Frankfurt, like everything was walkable, right? It was just so nice. I'm like, what is with us and our cars and our fat asses? It's, it is a real thing, but that's hilarious. Doug, however, he put ... American in every sense of the word. He grew up on ultra processed foods. Fruit snacks were considered fruit. Wait, what? Fruit snacks were considered fruit. Okay, that's crazy. But that is the American way. Y'all, that's how I was raised. We ate so much fast food, box shit. It's like not okay. And I don't want to shame anybody, but like it's just a matter of fact, like that is so unhealthy. It's just so bad. And I get it. Like my dad was a single dad. I'm not like pissed about it now. Thankfully, I was able to teach myself like healthy eating habits. But when you're raised that way, oh gosh. And he'll insist on starting up his Grand Wagoneer for any distance that's more than 3 blocks. He's not TLC immobile, but definitely not built for long tracks. Oh my gosh. Wait, is he talking about like TLC, like the shows where they can't move? Like My 600-Pound Life? Holy frick. Okay, anyways. Their son just finished 7th grade and loved the ancient China unit, especially the terracotta warriors. My sister thought this was a perfect time for him, being half Chinese, to visit his ancestral homeland. Is that how you say that? Ancestral? I think that's what it looks like. I was already planning a trip to Chongqing to see my family. Chongqing. I'm going to mispronounce some of these things. So we added my sister's family to the itinerary and expanded it to include places like Beijing, Xi-An, I have no idea, and Nanjing, Nanjing, to match what their son had learned in school. Amazing. This sounds wonderful. I handled most of the planning and tried to hint that a lot of walking would be involved, especially since many Chinese cities have vast transit systems and are less car dependent. Doug didn't take it seriously. Once we arrived, it was clear that he couldn't keep up when we explored the landmarks. My sister often stayed behind with him while my wife and I continued with the kids to ensure we kept up with our tour groups. It all came to a head at our final stop, my grandmother's hometown near Chongqing. I'm sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. This place is basically vertical, stairs and steep slopes everywhere. On a particularly hot, humid day, I took the kids to the local market via a park our old family helped build. Doug insisted on coming, saying he didn't want to sit around all day. I warned him it was a long walk, but he insisted. Oh, it's also hard that like your sister, which like of course she loves him and he can be an incredible man, but this is another one of those compatibility things that I find very important. Like if you are a very active person, I think it is important that you also find an active person, because this exact thing, like you're gonna go on trips together, you're gonna do family things like most, Disneyland or a theme park or exploring a city or going to even Mexico and walking around. Like if you're very active, well, it's just important to try and be your healthiest in general. But like when you're an active person and you eat right and then you come together with a guy, like I get it. Love apparently conquers all, but I also don't believe that. Like we're going to Montana, literally we'll just be getting back and we're going to go on tons of hikes. Like if Carter had picked a partner that wasn't that active and like couldn't really hike, it's like, it's going to hinder you in ways. Like if that's something they really like to do, or just like the fact that you could be really fit, but if you don't like doing certain things, it's fine to have separate hobbies, of course. But like this, I feel like the sister should have prepared better with Doug. Like, your husband, he doesn't walk, he has trouble like getting around. It's like, it's similar to like old people that go on vacations. Like, I don't think they should not be able to vacation, but it's like, okay, have realistic expectations about like the getting around, because when you go to Italy, let's say, it's a lot of walking and it's just like something to have in mind. You know what I mean? Half a mile in, he was struggling. I slowed down, but the kids kept running ahead. After we got through the park, I convinced him to take a taxi back while I continued to the market with the kids. Oh no. Wait, was it just like the men and not the wives? Oh fuck. When we returned, Doug was sulking and my sister was upset. She said I was inconsiderate for not just taking a taxi to the market. I explained that would have taken longer given the layout and the kids wouldn't have seen the park that was part of our family history. She said she hadn't realized how physically demanding the trip would be since she let me handle most of the planning and I didn't consider Doug's limits. No, honey. No. That's on you. And and you do your own research. Like, what do you mean? You've been to China, it sounds like. Like, this. I agree. I could have been more considerate of Doug's cardio, but not at the expense of my nephew and kids experiencing their cultural landmarks, especially since it was my nephew's first time in his homeland and my kid's first time in Xi'an and Beijing. They all said they had an amazing and educational experience. So am I the asshole? No. Because here is the thing. Like, this is a once in a lifetime trip. And if you're going somewhere, what? You want to sit around? Like, you probably spent so much money taking everybody to China. Like, everybody. I'm not saying like just the guy, but like you spent all of this money. Like, what did you want to do? Sit in the car? It's like, no, that's what we do. And that's on you. And this is like something that we all need to come to terms with. Like, if you have an ailment or you have an issue, like, why do people put that on other people? Like, why does everybody make that other people's problem? It's like, no, you then take care of yourself. If you need to, hang back, you can't come on this little tour, or you can't come, like, then do that. Like, I don't understand how you like can't walk half a mile. Like, when they said we're going to the market and there's a lot of like hills, like he should have Googled, like, this is going to be far. There are going to be a lot of hills and stairs. Like, are you able to do it? Because it's also so wildly inappropriate if like the husband said something, like if the guy that's writing this in, like, are you sure you can make it? That would be offensive, right? Like, the people would take offense to that. So it's like, what do you expect other people to do? Because you don't want to be rude, but it's also like, hello, right? People just need to take care of themselves and like manage their own bodies and what they are and aren't able to do, and that's it. I don't think he's the asshole at all. That was on them. Like, you're going to China and it, like, you want your kids to have the best experience ever. What, you're going to sit around and take a taxi and like they're not even going to get a walk around? Why would you even go? Honestly, why would you even go? Like, this is why you travel a place. And like, they wanted to see all of the things, the landmarks. Like, that's on Doug, the American who's out of shape, right? That's on him. Y'all should have talked about this. Why is it on the brother? Like, you guys know you're going. Do you guys not do any pre-planning of the trip? Like, And again, if you're going anywhere, like if I'm going to New York City, if I'm going to Miami, I'm going to assume when I'm on a vacation, I'm going to probably be walking more. Well, not me because I walk a lot, but like you always walk a lot. Like, because you want to see the things, you want to go around, like that's just a part of traveling. And that's on y'all, not the asshole. Next. Am I the asshole for telling my parents that they neglected me because of my brother's illness? So I'm a 16-year-old girl and I have an older brother who is 20. He moved out about 2 months ago. My brother has misophonia. Oh, this nanny girl claimed to have this. Oh my gosh, I already know where this is headed. Oh my gosh. Misophonia is like where like chewing and like, wait, let me just Google it. That way I'm not saying the wrong thing, but like I know what it is. It's like when little noises like chewing and breathing and like it's like a trigger or something. Okay. Misophonia may cause a reaction to sounds like dripping water, chewing, snapping gum, or repetitive noises such as pencil tapping. People with misophonia can become irritated, enraged, or even panicked when they hear these trigger sounds. Treatment might involve therapy or lifestyle recommendations, such as using sound protection or creating noise-free zones. So Nanny Girl claimed to have this, but it only had to do with Nanny Boy. Like nobody else's chewing bothered her, nobody else's breathing, but it was the boy. And I'm like, I don't think you get a pick and choice. I think your brother is just irritating to you. But this was like a whole thing. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what this is going to be. I have front-hand experience with this, or first-hand. I don't know everything about the illness, and I don't want to say anything wrong, but it's basically being triggered by certain sounds. He was diagnosed at 7 when I was 4, and he has a very strong version of the illness, I think. Me and my brother used to get along okay, but it got worse after that. Funnily enough, all of his triggers were connected to me. My laughing, my walking, my eating, everything seemed to trigger him. I remember my father yelling at me when I was like 6 because I laughed while my brother was also in the car. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ugh, that's crazy. I wasn't allowed to eat dinner with them. My parents would eat with him, and when he was finished, he could leave, and then I could get my food. Oh my God. I didn't even really understand what was going on because I was a little kid. That's crazy. I don't know what the solution is, but your parents ate with him and then you could eat. That is like, well, this was a thing. Like Nanny Mom would get on Nanny Boy because it was only his breathing, and Nanny Girl would be like freaking out, and she'd be like, hey, like, can you stop doing that, or like stop chewing so loudly? And like, I get it because there are people that like chew really loudly, and like that I understand, but it's like also maybe like she should eat somewhere else. And also, why is it just the brother? Like that doesn't really make any sense in my opinion. Again, I'm the queen of like calling out fake illnesses when like I know illnesses are real. That's not okay. It's not correct. But it's like, how is it only his chewing? You know what I mean? And Nanny Girl often like, you know, had issues with her brother, and, you know, she was like a little bit, you know, spoiled, and they would always cater to her in like a lot of things. So I'm always like, this is so fake. Like, this is so not real, which it's a real thing. Obviously, it's called misophonia. And they would say that she was never diagnosed, but they like looked up what it was. But it's like, what is it? Oh, but as parents, like, you're going to eat with him, but not your daughter. And like, she's just a young girl. Yeah. She's like, I didn't even understand what was going on. Oh, that's sad. I was often alone because I couldn't go anywhere with them and would trigger him. And when we did something together, it didn't feel the same because even alone, I was always scared to do something wrong and get yelled at. Even in school, I would barely talk or laugh. Oh, yeah, I bet this did fuck her up. I mean, that makes sense. Like when you're constantly told to like stop laughing or making noise or whatever, like there should have been something like, I don't know, is there a treatment of it? Or like tell the boy, like, do your best, or like wear headphones or something. I don't know. Oh, I was never very close with my family and spent most time alone in my room or with friends outside. Since my brother moved out, my parents are trying to get me to connect with them more. This morning, my mom asked me if I wanted to go see a movie with her, and I was already in a bad mood because I was stressed due to exams. So I sort of just snapped and told her I didn't want to and to stop trying to fix things with me because it was ruined and that she couldn't fix the neglect they put me through simply by watching a movie with me. I get it. Like I, sometimes bottle things up and then it all comes out. And this is a 16-year-old girl. Let's all keep in mind this is a 16-year-old child, right? She then yelled back at me and told me to stop being jealous of my brother and that they were doing the best they could and that they didn't want to neglect me and just tried to take care of my brother. But you did neglect her. And by trying to fix him, you did nothing to cultivate a relationship with her. And that's, unfortunately, I get it. Parents, there's so many weird dynamics. There's so much, you're just doing the best you can, but her feelings are valid. Right? I don't know. I feel like that's crazy to yell back at your daughter. I'm a firm believer that two things can be true at once and they could be doing the best that they could, but that doesn't mean that she's not valid. That's all I want to say about that. Okay. I just left after that, and both of my parents have been ignoring me all day, and now I kind of feel bad. I still really love them, but am I the asshole? No, I don't think she's the asshole. She's a 16-year-old girl. There's also an edit. Let me read that really quickly. So I don't know how many people are still going to see this, considering it's probably not shown, but I want to provide at least a little update. Many people suggested I show this post and the comments to my parents, and I wasn't sure if it was the right thing to do, considering the whole situation in general, but I did show them a few hours ago, and it didn't go well. They went on a rant about how people on the internet don't know anything about me and our family, which is true, obviously, but still, I don't know what that adds to the situation, considering they know everything I wrote in my post is true, and that I should stop believing what people tell me on the internet because all they want is drama and they don't care about me. Well, didn't go too well. My parents have been and are still yelling at each other in the living room right now, and I'm just sitting here. I wouldn't be surprised if they take my phone away, but oh well, who cares at this point? I'm thinking about maybe going to my teacher and telling her because I really don't know what to do right now. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. What do you do? Your parents, I get what they're saying. Yes, it's people on the internet, but it's also everybody's unbiased here. They are obviously biased, and I get that. And as parents, they don't want to believe that they did something to potentially hurt their child or make them feel, but I would hope that when my child in the future comes to me and says this made me feel neglected or something, I'm not just going to yell at them. I'm going to be oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you feel that way, and try and correct it, and I don't know, be kind and be loving and do the best I can to rebuild that relationship. The yelling at your child, she's 16 years old. She's not doing anything that crazy. She's just saying after all of this, which was fucking crazy, I get it. My brother can have this misophonia thing. That is real, but it's also okay, but still, regardless, I was treated a certain way, and don't try and act like we have this close relationship when I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat with you guys. That's insane. That's really insane. Oh, that makes me so sad. Ugh. I feel so bad for kids out there with parents who are just I wouldn't say immature because, they're just two human beings, but with people out there, and I've talked about this a million times, with parents that are really immature and I don't know. That's just, I feel bad because they're just kids. They don't know any better. And they've only known what you've taught them and what you've provided in their household. Kids just need a stable environment and two loving parents or one loving parent. That's really all kids need. Kids are resilient, and it makes me sad when kids come to their parents and try and talk about their feelings, because that's a hard thing in general, especially when you're feeling a certain way, when you're feeling neglected by them. That was, she snapped, of course, but I think anybody would at 16 years old. I don't know. That's just me. Okay. Next. Am I the asshole for not helping my broke friend because she got a tattoo? Oh, here we go with the finances. Y'all, I'm going to roll with the money. One of my friends has been complaining about money a lot recently. It's gotten to the point where 2 days ago, she said that she was so broke she wasn't able to afford to eat and was skipping whole days worth of eating because she had no food. Okay, that's terrible. I felt sympathy because I've struggled a lot with finances. I still do a little bit, but not as badly as I used to. Since I'm doing okay enough right now, I offered to help her out with food. I do a budgeting plan with my meals, meal prep, where I use these compartment containers and I'll make 10 portions of 3 different meals every 2 weeks. I rotate the menu based on what's on sale. Then I put them into my deep freezer. I have ADHD and this works really well for me. I have a bit of extra meal stock at the moment because I don't always eat all the prepared trays before I make the next batch, since I always do it every 2 weeks. I have around 25 extra meals in my freezer right now. Since I have the extras, I was originally just gonna not meal prep at the start of next week, but instead I decided to offer to drop my friend off some of my surplus so she has something to eat. Well, that is so kind of you, and that's all I'm going to say about that. That's really kind because you don't need to do that, especially since she said she's struggled in the past and still is doing okay. Also, that meal prep is insane. I need to get on that level. I feel like I've had moments of meal prepping, but it kind of just goes out the window. Anywho, I was going to drop it off today after work, but right when I was getting off work, I was watching Snapchat stories and saw that she posted one. She went and got a tattoo today as part of a Friday the 13th flash thing. I'm familiar with the artist who did the tattoo because I recognized their flash from their Instagram. I was actually considering going in for one, but didn't do it because I don't really have the extra money right now. They're all pre-priced prices, and that one is $180. This is what I'm saying. You can spend your money on what you want, but when you were literally telling me that you don't have money for food, but then you're getting a tattoo, what the fuck are we talking about? I don't know why, but it kind of pissed me off. I know why, because that's annoying as hell. And you were going to do such a good deed for your friend, but they're spending their money on stupid shit. No, I don't condone that. I would be pissed off too. Because she literally just told me about how she's so broke she couldn't afford to eat, but yet was able to pay for a tattoo. When I was struggling financially, I definitely didn't go and get tattoos. I messaged her about it and asked about how she was able to afford a tattoo, and she basically just said, I'm always able to scrounge up cash for new tattoos. No, this person is dumb. And not prioritizing things that need to be that's not even a funny thing to say, especially when you're complaining about not being able to eat. This person is just not very smart and very immature. And I get it. Not everybody has money, financial literacy, but you are telling me that you don't have money for food, but you're able to scrounge up money for tattoos. So either you do, you are able to find money for food and you're just lying to exaggerate, or you're literally just an idiot and you got money, found money, and instead of spending it on food, you spend it on tattoos. No. I then told her that I'm not bringing her those meals because if she has enough for a new tattoo, she must not be that desperate. She freaked out on me and called me a bitch and said I was being classist and that poor people are allowed to have nice things, which I do agree with, but I feel like it doesn't apply to this situation. But now I feel like an asshole and my friend is mad at me. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. Of course she freaked out. Or she knew you were bringing those meals and then got money. And then she's like, oh, well, Jessica's bringing me meals. I'm going to go get a tattoo, which is equally as stupid. What? I'm sorry. What? No. Classist? I'm sorry. Classist? Do you know what that means? That's insane, and that's on her, and this is not a good friend, and she's just using you. And also so many different angles here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she must not be that desperate if she can find money for the tattoos. She called me a bitch and that I was being glad. No. And also this poor people are allowed to have nice things. This takes me back to the video I made about how people are financing their Coachella tickets. when people were like saying like, just because I'm poor, I should be able to experience. And it's like, I get what you're saying. And yeah, I don't think that if you don't have a lot of money, you should just be like miserable. But again, it's like one of those things. It's like if you're going into debt to go to a 3-day concert situation, like maybe just save up next time. Maybe start today. And like you can. People who are, you know, not as financially well off, and if you can't save up, like, then I don't think you should go. I guess that is my truth. I don't necessarily believe with this like poor people should get nice things too. It's like, get a second job. Like when I was in college, all the way up until literally I quit with the nanny fam, I had 2 jobs since I was in college, right? To have extra money to do things. And that's how I was able to do stuff. And even when I was making enough money to like support myself and go on trips, I still worked another job to have more money, to be more financially set. Like I understand it's not what people want to do. People don't want to work 2 jobs. I get it's not ideal, I guess, or get that it's not fun, but like it's kind of the reality. I don't think it's right, but like it is what it is. Like what are you going to do? You can sit and cry and you can have no money and not be able to do things or go into debt to do these things, or you can just buck up and get another job for a little bit. Just go bartend. Like bartending is the best side gig. You make so much money, or you can. I don't know. Anyways, not the asshole, obviously. That was nice of you to offer in the first place. But yeah, if I see somebody who's telling me that they're broke, go get a tattoo, but they can't afford food, no. Nope, not the asshole. Okay, next. Am I the asshole for choosing to go to my grandfather's funeral over my unborn daughter's 20-week ultrasound? Oh gosh, I'm already gonna say not the asshole, but I could understand where the wife is coming from. My wife, 25 female, and I, 26 male, are expecting a baby girl due in November. We are both so excited for it. I've been talking to her through my wife's belly, being excited, feeling kicks, all of the fun stuff. 3 weeks ago, we scheduled the 20-week ultrasound. It'll be closer to 22 weeks. The last week and a half, my grandfather's health has been slowly diminishing. I had a talk with my father and family, and we're told that sometime within a week of his passing, we would have the funeral. This made my wife and I talk about the plan. I was asked to be the pallbearer at the funeral. She said she'd want to stay home with the dogs so we didn't have to board them, and that I could go by myself to the 4.5 hour trip up north to my father's hometown. Oh, that's sad. Your wife wasn't even going to come with you in the first place? I mean, I get it. It's not convenient if you have to work or something, but like, that is his grandfather. I don't know. Anyways. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away late last night, early this morning. Oh, God. I called my father to make sure he was okay, which he was holding on as much as one would when your father passes away. But I was told that the funeral would be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. This just so happens to be the exact day that my wife has an ultrasound. Can you not reschedule the ultrasound? I feel like that's definitely something you can do. Anyhow, let's keep going. My wife is now upset that I plan to go to my grandfather's funeral instead of go to the ultrasound appointment. Oh my gosh. I said, well, we could FaceTime, but it's my grandfather. I know FaceTime isn't the same, but she said, yeah, but this is your daughter. Oh my gosh. Now she is mad and upset at me. I'm emotionally torn from this because I'm so excited for my baby girl, but also really sad about my grandfather. Yeah, no, totally. I want to know if I'm the asshole here. My wife's feelings are always going to be valid, but I feel like mine aren't being considered in the situation. I don't know. Not the asshole. It's your grandfather's death and funeral. Like, this is literally the one time this is going to happen with this one grandfather, and you were going to be the pallbearer. And like, what? I get it. And like, I can understand, again, pregnant woman with hormones, like they're heightened. But number one, you could reschedule it. And also, aren't there going to be other ultrasounds? Like, I get it. People want to be super involved. But like, I've also heard of people like when their husband works, like they go to the ultrasound by themselves. I think obviously, ideally, you'd want to go with your partner. But like, I feel, maybe I'll feel differently when I have the baby or when I'm pregnant. But like, if Carter can't make it to everyone, like, I don't think that's going to upset me. If it's in like the middle of the day and he needs to work, like, I'll tell him what they said. I don't know. I guess I don't know what goes on. And some that are more important. Like if you're seeing the baby for the first time or like learning the gender, sure, whatever. But I feel like they can be rescheduled. And also, like, even if it can't be, I think I would understand when Carter's grandparents die that he needs to be there. And also, I would want to be there. Right. So regardless, I think I would, change the ultrasound date. I feel like, again, I've never been in this scenario. I don't know what that's like, but that's just that. Not the asshole. Okay. Next. Okay. Last but not least, I'm apologizing already if this is a bit of a shorter episode. I need to film after this, but I already went through like 5 stories. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just reading so fast. We're just like not having that much commentary. Anyways, let's get into it. Am I the asshole for getting a new nurse fired for accusing me of having an affair with my father? Oh my gosh. Hey Reddit, I'm a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a hug and told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. I'm 27 female and my dad is 51 male. There was a new nurse at the nurse's station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I hadn't spoken with this new nurse much though, and she didn't know. Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off what she heard and saw. She knew my dad's married to my mom, who brings him lunch sometimes. Oh, no. But like, that's such a crazy thing to assume. Like, she's a young girl. Oh my gosh. And maybe just like ask. Maybe just like ask somebody, because everybody knows. Even still, none of your business. Literally, it's none of your business. She immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff that my dad is having an affair with the hospital social worker, aka me. One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to tell me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I also guess that no one decided to tell her that he's my dad. I hate gossipers. I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear to God, some of them really love to spread rumors. I decided to not take it up with her, and I just went straight to HR. I mean, that's what they're there for. And shame on you for gossiping and also not being, correct. It's also like, oh my gosh. Remember that one story we had where the girl thought like their child, or like he, groomed his wife because they had like a 12-year-old child and she was like 25. So that she put 2 and 2 together and it like wasn't his son. They had just gotten married. I mean, the age gap was still a little bit questionable, but it's like you just made up a whole thing in your head. This girl just decided that he's having an affair with his literal daughter. Obviously, she doesn't know that, but it's like, girl, why are you gossiping? Shut the fuck up. We were both asked to come to HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knew that he's my father. When the new nurse came in, she was asked to explain, and she said that she thinks it's terrible that we would so blatantly have an affair, and she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like such a nice guy. Oh, no. My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his daughter. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. the HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probation period. Oh gosh. Okay, my mom thinks I'm a jerk and I should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew she would probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook and she's a single mom or whatever. Oh my gosh, not single mom or whatever. I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital, doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their asses gossiping instead of doing their jobs. My dad is embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone had thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird or anything, but it happens. Anywho, am I the asshole? No, I don't think so, because also you didn't know that girl. Like, she literally didn't know you. And immediately her first reaction was to go around and gossip. Like, that's just not appropriate in any workplace. And like, that's what HR is for. Like, that could have fucked with y'all's, like, obviously you could then like explain, but it's like, no, that's inappropriate behavior. And I think she needs to learn that. Like, there are people who are just like gossips, and it's like, no, stop doing that. Like, it's exhausting, and like, especially when it's untrue. Like, she needs to learn that you just don't do that in the workplace. And like, she should have went to HR. If like she really thought that, then go and say, which like, is that even appropriate? I don't even know, because I've never really been with a company that has like a true HR. I mean, Smart City did, but like, yeah, that's on her. I don't feel that bad. It sucks, but it's like, also like, she needs to learn. Here's the thing with people who like go their whole life with like acting crazy. It's like, somebody needs to teach that person, like, that is not appropriate behavior. And like, yes, I understand she apologized, and I understand, but like, it's a mistake, but it's also like, you went around and started gossiping about it. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's tricky. I understand why I understand why the dad's uncomfortable. I understand why the mom feels bad, but it's also like, she didn't know this girl. So like, go up and confront her. Like, the girl could have lied, and then she could have like turned it into something. It's like, this is what HR is for. So there's no like interpersonal, like weird things going on. It's like, they are there to make sure the workplace is like normal and professional. And like, that's what they're there for. And unfortunately, she's fired, but hopefully she can get another job. But it's like, don't do that. Those are my thoughts. Okay, you guys, this was a shorter episode. I apologize, but we'll be right back at it next week. We'll be back, normal, good to go. I hope you guys had the best 4th weekend. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Okay, bye, guys.